Alright everyone, welcome to our reaction live stream. Today we're going to be doing a sort of live stream of, is it The Dead and the Divine, Ross?
It is indeed. We usually try and watch these, and David, we at the beginning when they started doing these, we watched them together, which was a lot of fun. And unfortunately, we can't do that anymore. So through the wonders of the internet, we can watch it together again, which is great.
So guys, obviously welcome to this sort of reaction, this impromptu. Any comments, etc., put it in the live chat. We'll be watching along with you guys, and we hope you're watching with us too. Don't really know much about what's coming, Ross, but I think you're anticipating things like vampires. Oh, guys, we're going live.
Oh yeah. Yep.
We are going live. There we go. Let's get the audio one.
Fantastic.
Alright, that should be coming through for everyone to see. At least I hope so. Yep, there we go.
Yep. I have no knowledge on the technical side. I'm just here to comment.
So, Ross, what are you thinking is going to come from this? What do you think?
Right, I have a typed up, pre-prepared statement on this. Give me a second as I will get it up.
You probably get time to fire through it now.
Yeah, get it through before they actually show it, because then I won't seem as good. So what do I suspect? When it comes to what I think is going to come, in 40k, I think it's going to be roughly a sort of roundup of the Marines. I hope to see that sort of get finished. It's been nearly 6 months. We've had like Marines and Necrons teased. I think it was about July, and we're only finally getting heavy intercessors. I feel that's taken way too long. Nearly, if you think of it, an edition is 3 years long. Nearly a sixth of an edition to get these heavy intercessors done. So we'll see the end of Space Marines. We'll see the end of Necrons. They'll get their characters, and we'll see probably the next 3 codexes. I believe in 2017, an event they revealed like 3 codexes, and I think they're going to do the same again. 2017, I think it was Drukhari, Tau, and Necrons. So this year will be, not Dark Angels and Drukhari, because we know they're coming. It's going to be the next 3. And my predictions for that are Admech, Orcs, and Sisters, because we know the models are coming. And then I think we'll see the new Titanicus model. AOS, we're probably going to see some stuff. We're probably going to see the Warcry vampires, which is going to be cool. Whether they're going to be more expansive than vampires, I don't know. Lumineth, they've hinted a lot in terms of Lumineth, what's going to happen. So I'm excited to see what they actually do. In terms of Lumineth elves, that'll be very, very interesting. I don't hope not a new codex, because it's less than a year old. That would be a little bit of a bad taste in my mind.
Yeah, I think we chatted about that as well on the podcast, didn't we?
We did, but they have hinted that Teclis is coming after Nagash yesterday, I think it was. So it'll be interesting to see narratively what they do there. We'll see Kill Team, I think. I think a rumour is going to be Orcs and Astra, and no Space Marines in the set, which will be interesting. But I'm pretty sure we're going to see the start of Kill Team. And then this mystery thing. What is the mystery? Who knows?
Yeah, I'm hoping for a reveal which will be completely off kilter and just something we do not expect at all. But we'll see. I honestly, I've got nothing. I don't know what to expect here. I'm just more hoping to see some, as you said, Kill Team stuff. That could be quite interesting.
Kill Team will be a good one to see. Very interested to see how they go forward with that. That is probably the one I'm most interested in, bar the surprise, because I don't know what that's going to be. I know a lot of people are speculating on that one, and there's a few popular opinions, and I'm just very interested to see how it goes.
Oh, good. I'm just checking to see when they're going to go live here.
That's them gone live.
Let me go back. I'm going to refresh this.
No problem. Go for it, David.
It says watch now.
Yeah, I can see him. It's Eddie and Adam. They're on.
I can't get it. I can't get it on. I can't get it on.
Oh no, David. You're the tech support. I need you, David. Keep me right.
Give me a second. Give me a second. There we go. No, it's just sit on the offline for me.
Well, I can see them. Can't hear what they're saying.
I'm going to refresh this. Give us a second, guys.
Yeah. So what are you thinking is going to happen, David? So obviously this isn't their sort of summer release stuff. I highly doubt it's going to be the summer stuff, because if I was to bet anything, I'm not sure, because usually they do a 40k summer, an Age of Sigmar summer, then usually something else. And I don't think we're not due a 40k edition, obviously. And I don't think it's going to be an Age of Sigmar stuff. So I'm very interested to see what we're going to get. Whether it be a big narrative campaign or something would be very, very interesting.
There you go, guys. Sorry to be rude there, Ross.
These online previews give us
Yeah,
a
no
great
problem.
opportunity to still, show you guys cool stuff that's coming up and get excited about things. And this is the first real chance we've had to look into 2021 at some of the big things that are coming up, and there's a lot of very cool things coming.
There we go. It's just rendering.
You got to do Japan while I'm streaming live.
Lovely.
That's pretty rad. And also somebody from
So Adam Troke and Eddie.
Coast of England. So that's super lovely.
What are you sort of hoping for, David? You're
Yeah.
hoping for a bit more expansion on Kill Team.
Have you done any hobbies since?
Hoping for Kill Team, definitely.
It's been Christmas,
And if not Kill Team, I'd really like to see some
an unusual Christmas
finish of the Necrons.
but
Just finish it off.
Advantages is that we did get
Yeah, I think that's given. That's the cryptex that we're still due. That's probably the part that we're going to see the most, is get the cryptex done. Just the codex in general. We've got all the good stuff for Necrons sort of anyway. We've got the Silent King. We have the Void Dragon. But it'll be nice to see that. I would love to see what their future plans are. Personally, I would like to see someone else get the Necron treatment. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think there's going to be just a cleanup of 40k and some codexes, which will be cool. Big expansion of AOS, which will be nice. Yeah, it'll be pretty cool on that side. Some cool models as well. I love the hint they showed the Blade Guards in a bit more detail, as in the sprues of the actual model ones, and they're looking really really good, rather than just the Indomitus ones. So they're probably fantastic. I'm not a Space Marine player, but the Blade Guard I do think are really, really awesome models.
So I would say, guys, if you want to see Blade Guard in the channel, put it in the comment section so we can badger Ross into painting them.
Even though I don't
Tell me
play them,
wrong.
but I'll still be. Tell me. I know you've been saying get them painted. I'll get them done. Just takes time. Like everything when it comes to painting, just takes time.
So I think they're just chatting about their models and stuff that they're going over just now.
Yeah. Which we should technically do the same. I know you don't do as much painting, David, but I certainly do. And behind me, all my sort of painting desk and mess. Got my 3 Militarum stuff going on.
I wouldn't say it's a mess. It's just a hobbyist dream.
Yeah. Got my Hellhounds, which I'm very happy about. I think it takes a wee minute for it just to load to show. But yeah, got Hellhounds done, Chimeras, all pretty good for Astra Militarum. Bit messy, but isn't everyone's painting table absolutely disaster?
Yeah, my painting table's such a disaster, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. Well, your tech support, David, you got to keep us right in tech. That's the important thing. As I always say, if computers didn't have a massive on button, I would be doomed.
So I wonder when they're going to hit us with the schedule.
Yeah, so this is obviously just their build-up. They do their 15-minute build-up, and then 1 o'clock will probably, 2 o'clock will probably see the first sort of hint of stuff that's coming out. I'm just excited to see what this mystery box is. What is the mystery thing? That's what I think everyone is kind of excited to see.
The mystery box is pretty obvious. It's going to be what's his name, Trazarn the Infinite. It's going to be his. They're going to relaunch a new loot crate system, and it's going to be called Trazarn the Infinite's loot crate, and it's just going to be.
I thought you were going to say it's like a new game based on his museum, and you have to go through his museum and avoid being pokeballed or something.
No, you'll be paying like $3.99 a month, and Trazarn the Infinite from the GW headquarters will send you a loot box of one of his pokeballed items every month.
Oh, David, that's painful.
Tell me I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, I don't see that one. No, it'd just be very, very interesting to see what they've got. Obviously, there's been so much expansion in the games in general, from Blood Bowl to Necromunda. We've seen this huge expansion, so obviously they're looking at their old games. Who knows what could be. What was the ship-based battle that was in Warhammer? Dread Sails?
Yeah, they had Dread Sails. Never really got into that.
Dreadfleet.
What's a Dreadfleet?
I don't. That one would be one of my most least likely thing it's going to be, but very, very interesting if it was.
Something completely new, like an army I've never done.
Where would you go first?
I think there was a few rumours of Battlefleet Gothic were flying around the internet. I know I would love to have that.
Well, my favourite corner.
I think that's the one that kind of makes sense. It makes sense. The game was pretty much a huge success, enough to warrant a sequel, which was highly regarded itself. So having that alongside it, yeah, that kind of makes sense. You know, if you have a successful video game, kind of get the board game going for it as well. That seems logical. So I think that would be very cool. And Aeronautica. So Aeronautica, I know has not as many people are playing that one as I'd probably say Gothic would be.
Yeah.
Only thing I'd say, if Gothic comes out, make sure, like when they did the sequel to the game, have have quite a few factions. You don't need to have them all, but you need more than probably 4 or 6. Like 6 would be the nice number in my mind to start with, minimum to get people engaged. But if you only had like 2 factions, like they did with Aeronautica, which I think was Astra and Orcs to begin with, or whatever, I forget what the fleet name for the Imperium is of ships.
I know you mean
That
though.
was 2. Yeah, I think Tower now involved in it. But really, you need to get a bit more involvement if it's Gothic. You know, you need the Chaos, you need Necrons, you need the Imperium, just a bit more variety because people they've got their factions that they play, and I think that's probably the most important part.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, the Dark Angels Codex.
Oh, I thought they were going to be getting into the schedule. I'll tell you one thing. Remember the last time I watched the reveal for the Necrons and Indomitus? They had that sort of billboard in the back with those sort of Easter egg messages. Keep a close
That
eye
was
out.
quite a while ago.
Yeah, but keep a close eye out for stuff like that. You know.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see anything like that this time. I think that was mainly for the 40k reveal, because they had so many people on. I think when it comes to Eddie and Adam, they don't have as much in the background. They do have usually the codex that they're going to reveal sometimes in the background, but I don't think they're going to have anything as obvious. What we're seeing in the background, Blood Bowl, can't make up that one. I mean, they've both got Blood Bowl on the go there. But nothing I can make out. Eddie has, I think, the giant size Space Marine one, which I'm interested to see if he's painted it. A certain one, because obviously you got the Ultramarines, and then I think they did Salamanders.
Yeah.
I think you could also think many people painted theirs as well. I think you could get a plain one.
Yeah,
Interested
there's
to see what Eddie actually got his.
seen some really cool paint schemes for some of the ones of those sort of display models.
Yeah,
You can definitely get a grey one. You just paint it up.
Yep.
Okay,
Now,
here we go.
I'm not going to do that because you've got way too many projects for me to paint already.
I think we got the first preview coming.
All right, okay.
Oh, there you go. Says you've got 1 more minute. So I'll tell you how this is going to work. In about 1 minute, probably more like 50 seconds right now, we'll have the first of our previews.
Okay.
Sit tight and watch it.
Not yet, David.
And then Eddie and I'll come back.
I think it'll be roughly another minute until we see what the first
Yeah.
one is, which predictions will be, I'm hoping to see like when we had the podcast the other night, me and Louise were obviously very excited, or Pix were very excited to see vampires. I think just seeing them modernized, I know that's not 40k, but just seeing the updated models, the quality they can produce is fantastic. So I'm really excited to see them. I don't know what the Divine is. I'm assuming the Divine is going to be Teclis, the Lumineth elves, just from their post of their day.
Possibly, yeah.
and
Possibly.
So that's what I think that might be. But you never know. That might be 40k as well. Could be Sisters, because I know they made a post with an artwork piece of Sisters of Adepta Sororitas, so we might see that. That might be quite interesting.
Oh. It seems to have froze. Is your stream froze, Ross?
Nope. Still going live, David.
That's fine.
You got to keep us right, David, in the technical support.
It's just
I've
Twitch.
no
Twitch.
power. I can only just watch.
Twitch for me
Right,
is
that's
just
going live with the first thing.
Yeah, Twitch is having an absolute bollock today. There we go. It's trying to reload.
Adeptus Sororitas, David.
I'm aware. I've got black screen on my side. There we go.
Artwork's awesome.
God Emperor, hear our prayer. Watch over us as we prepare for battle.
Gonna put the volume up a wee bit.
Few, and our enemies many. We shall not falter. By your grace, we will shatter the mutant, the heretic, the xenos. By your grace, we will cleanse every dark corner
Awesome.
of the stars. Grant us the gift of your wrath. God
Ho 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 ho.
hear our prayer.
Oh man. Are these like Sororitas Terminators?
So obviously Space Marines have Centurions, you've got Grey Knights that have their baby carriers. You know, looks like Adepta Sororitas can actually do it right.
Oh my, oh my.
That was pretty rad. I liked everything about that teaser trailer, Eddie. But what can you tell us? Come on, spill the beans.
So that was the Adepta Sororitas Sisters of Battle Paragon Warsuit, which is a thing that we've never seen before. This is absolutely brand new for Warhammer 40,000. I don't think we've even heard hints of it before. So something to allow the Sisters of Battle to compete in the combat phase, to go up against some of the biggest, baddest, meanest.
So what's your thoughts there, David?
And renegades of the
Perfect.
Millennium.
Absolutely perfection.
Looking at it, you can tell that it's going to be absolutely like a
You know,
in the game.
just very interesting that they've got this.
Really, really great.
The ironic thing when it comes to all these, as saying there that Centurions have their, you know, Space Marines have Centurions, Grey Knights have Dread Knights, now Sisters have this exoskeleton model, is that really when it comes to exoskeleton, wouldn't, you know, Astra Militarum make the most sense? Them being arguably the weakest, as they don't have power armor or anything, to have an exoskeleton model just as a more powerful unit. But then again, maybe not, because Astra Militarum are literally just throw the numbers of lasguns into the fray, so maybe they don't get all the nice toys. But when it comes to this model, it is super nice. That's really nicely detailed. The sword looks fantastic on it. Yeah, genuinely, actually, really awesome. Probably one of my favourite Adepta Sororitas models. I know you've got the Repentia machines and everything, which are fine, but the legs and that are absolutely, they're very, very sleek, which is very interesting. It just looks generally really awesome. I vowed not to paint Adeptus Sororitas because they're far too detailed for me to paint, but that really tempts me.
Yeah, they've, just to hark back a bit there, the baby carrier comments, that is really good how that they've mastered how you do exosuits on a model. I have to say that looks really good. And also to incorporate the ornate aspects of Adeptus Sororitas into it as well, because if you do exosuits, it's usually quite clunky and big, and even the Grey Knight ones aren't that ornate in some regards. That looks brilliant.
Yeah, that one looks really, really good. So that's far sleeker. There's obviously wee bits on it as well, which is pretty cool. But just the sleekness of it really builds towards the Adeptus Sororitas look, and it doesn't look clunky like they've done in the past. I'm just going to full screen it to get a bit more detail on it.
I wonder what loadouts they'll have for it as well.
Well, obviously there you've got some kind of power sword, which will probably be slightly stronger, obviously, than a power sword, and that looks like either a flame or a melta. I think that is a multi-melta, so multi-melta power sword, you run up the field, you melta tanks, and then you hit the infantry in the face. Love it, what more could you want?
Yeah, this is beautiful. I'm just going to hear what Eddie's saying about this.
The Ecclesiarchy is an incredibly powerful organization within the Imperium and able to get their hands on pretty much the best kit they can get for their chosen warriors, which are the Adeptus Sororitas. So they've clearly been hard at work creating some new tech to kind of go up against the 41st millennium. And the model's glorious as well. I think if you look at the opportunities there, you can already start to imagine how you could see it painted in different color schemes.
The conversions are going to be incredible from this.
So if someone wanted to really go to town with heraldry and iconography and, you know, painting marble patterns on it, little
in it as well, just in terms of exoskeletons, like in other armies, instantly I'm thinking either Drukhari or Orcs for some reason. I just think it's a lot nicer than, certainly than Centurions. Look, I wonder how it's going to be height-wise. Obviously seeing a sister there, gives you an idea in terms of height where it's going to be.
Somebody has said,
But it looks certainly bigger than your a lot of your other models. It's probably going to be the size of a Repentia or just smaller. Yeah, I love it. I think it's I knew there was Adepta Sororitas stuff coming because they showed their sort of Adepta Sororitas Lieutenant quite a few months back, but I did not expect this. I didn't expect them to actually have new units, maybe a few HQs or characters, but to have a new unit. Very nice. Very pleased.
Misunderstood technology and force fields. And
Yeah.
all sorts of
Just getting a message from Rob as well, who's watching it. He's like absolutely loving this model.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I'm already thinking I'd love to maybe try and convert some Grey Knights with this.
All right, it's going to be a lot smaller than a Dread Knight, that's for sure.
Oh, I'm not
What
talking
would
about
you
Dread Knights.
use it as?
I'm talking about convert some actual Grey Knight Paladins or some Grey Knight Terminators using the
Oh,
exosuit.
right, yeah.
So I'd like to have maybe some sort of purifiers as the core, and the exosuit to make it a bulkier model, thus bringing it to a Paladin.
Yeah, it really does make it a much bigger unit if you have that one. So something as like a Terminator, I think you could maybe get away with. It depends on the base partly as well. But yeah, having it as a Terminator proxy, I mean, rule of cool always applies, so I think that'd be quite good to have. Yeah, I can dig it. I can dig the conversion. I just think orcs, because anything can go with orcs. You can throw it into anything. Just go, yeah, it's an orc in a. I'm pretty sure they still have their mega suits and everything.
They do, yeah. You can even chuck Tyranids in with orcs, and they'll still make it work.
The glory of orcs. You can chuck it in with anything, and they'll make it work. If it can be shoved onto armor or anything, they'll make it work. So interesting side. So I presume we're probably going to see a codex for Adeptus Sororitas.
I'd imagine so. They've got enough units to fill it out now.
Well, I mean, like the codex is still up to date. I think the codex actually came out last year. I could be wrong on that. Yes, it did, because the preview box came out just before Christmas 2019, and then we got the codex. So the codex is only just over a year old. So does it require a new codex? Maybe, because it was probably the last codex that did come out. So I always, as I said, have a bad taste whether a codex should be replaced within a year. But the edition has changed, so I can sort of warrant it in a way because the edition has moved forward. But that may leave a poor taste in people's mouth in terms of I've just bought an Adepta Sororitas book last year and it's lasted just over a year. So it'll be debatable in that one.
Well, tough luck. That's the hobby we're in.
Well, the hobby of books, yeah, sometimes that feels the way. There's a lot of reading involved, more than I had at school.
I'm excited for the next one. That's got me going. That reveal, that was good.
Yep, so, we'll probably see, Adeptus Sororitas. If people are commenting they want to see a combat patrol for them, that'd be pretty cool, a starter set for Adeptus Sororitas. I don't believe they currently have a starter set, so having a combat patrol would be really, really good, just to get people into Sororitas, because they are some of the best models. I know their whole range is new, so that makes them really high quality, but they are really, really cool models overall. Certainly if you compare them to likes of Craft Worlds, which is showing their age,
My poor Craft Worlds, don't worry, they're in line for some love as well.
I do believe there was actually a box set they showed for Adeptus. So the next box set, Prophet of the Wolf, was the next one's going to be Drukhari and Adeptus Sororitas. I believe that was shown.
Okay.
So
yeah.
No Marines, which is very unusual.
Was
so
that
it'll be very...
Was that the one that had the sort of carcass of an Eldari Aspect Warrior as well? In the base, and they were going, oh, new Craft Worlds confirmed?
Ooh, I don't remember that one, but yeah, that's harsh to them. So another one's coming up.
Yeah, we knew this was coming.
Yeah, just run. I mean, see the Chromancer and all these fantastic models.
Oh, it's just screaming my Imperial Fists. Look at the chunkiness of that model. That's also Screaming Imperial Fists, if I ever say so myself. Yes, please.
Interesting terrain.
This is clearly a new game.
Yeah, is this Kill Team?
I think so, mate.
Ah, nailed it.
Nice. I'm emailing GW today.
So yeah, maybe I called it wrong, Kill Team, when I heard the rumours was going to be Orcs and Astra Militarum, so very wrong on that one. But that's going to be a very interesting Kill Team, because obviously you had Indomitus and the star sets expanding on people's Necron and Astra and Marine forces. So this gives them another way to split their force and expand it. So if you wanted Marines, hopefully this is going to be affordable for Marine players, that they can go, well, if you guys want Flayed Ones and the Chromancer, you can have that, and then they can take the Heavy Intercessors. 48 times Necron terrain. So there's 48 pieces of Necron-themed terrain. That'll be very interesting.
Hey, this looks like a decent set. Very decent set.
Yeah. Upside map, not as many models, but then again, that's Kill Team. I didn't think you were going to expect many. It's going to be very interesting to see how power balanced 5 Intercessors versus 5 Flayed Ones. That does not seem the right amount of power level. The Intercessors would probably blow the Flayed Ones apart. But then again, in tight spaces, Flayed Ones can absolutely cause a bit of damage.
But it also depends on what the new sort of updated rule set for Kill Team is going to show. What do the Necrons get trickery-wise? You'll probably find they'll have ways to close the gap very, very quickly.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind, Kill Team does work quite differently. You don't just get shot, you might take wounds, everything. Just in terms of 40k standard rules, there's a bit of a power difference between these two. I don't play Marines, but I absolutely love the heavy intercessor models. Like, I just love the heavy bulkiness of them. Really, really cool. And the Chromancer are obviously very cool as well. I love the Chromancer. The other one that has the sort of hollow field of skull, I can't remember what one that one's called. It's probably another one of my favourite. Awesome.
So things like assault intercessors,
just hearing what he's saying, what are the updates?
And obviously things like heavy
what are they saying?
Flayed Ones, all of those can now be added into Kill Team as well. So
basically just saying
for a Space Marine army and you play Kill Team,
designs.
Or if you just want to add those models to your collection and get them first, this is a great box.
So basically they're saying your Necron Codex and your Space Marine Codex, you can basically meld those units into Kill Team.
Yes, yeah, but largely so. There's very few units that don't actually get adapted into Kill Team. So, is this an update of the rulebooks, or is it just a new box set? I may have missed that part.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, we know the rules for all these already, and they are very.
They're just touching on it.
People were already eyeing up, especially the Space Marine heavy intercessors. I think yourself included, with thoughts of how you could build an army around those. They open up opportunities for things like an all-grav army, Gravis army, but they also do some interesting stuff to not only just looking really great on the battlefield, but also interesting things to the way that they play, because they've got 3 wounds apiece. So a lot of your traditionally anti-Space Marine weaponry with damage 2 actually glances off them.
3 wounds for those heavy intercessors.
So yeah, we knew the rules for the intercessors already, roughly, but it's nice to have them, and as Eddie said there, to have an all Gravis-based army, which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
What's your feeling on the heavy intercessors? There's been a lot of debate in the community between what's affordable, what you get for your points in terms of damage between the heavy intercessors and just regular intercessors who are also super useful. When it comes to troops and Space Marines, you've now got quite a lot of options between tactical Marines, heavy intercessors, because they're troops, crazily enough, regular intercessors, assault intercessors. I mean, that's a large amount of troop choices versus most codexes only have 2 or 3 choices to choose from. Very, very interesting on that side to see them expand out the troop side, but I just love the heavy intercessor unit. Certainly in this edition, I don't think they're as useful as maybe just basic intercessors, because basic intercessors, again, rapid fire range, they're really good. But I think most of their guns are like 2 or 3 damage. I think mostly 3 damage. And if you have it in the heavy phase, they can be, if they're heavy weapons, an extra AP,
think
yeah, there's a lot of potential behind them. I think if you're Imperial Fist like you and you fire, I think a heavy one in the first phase, then it's like an extra damage as well. It could be really devastating.
To answer your question, fully on board with just regular Marines over the heavy ones. The heavy ones are really nice to have, but I believe in the mass firepower of Imperial Fist, Stalker Bolters, and I need nothing else.
You need nothing else.
Don't need anything else. I can take down any armor with those 10 Space Marines and Stalker Bolters.
But you're still going to make me paint several heavy intercessors.
Of course, man, because they're a cool model, and it's definitely... We're going to need to have heavy intercessors with lots of the new heavy bolters. That's what we need to have.
Yep. Yeah. I like. So this is the other thing as well. I really like how they've given Primaris some of the old weapons. When the new weapons came out, I was a bit saddened that iconic weapons such as the heavy bolter, the missile launcher, and last cannon were largely kept to the side. So it's nice that they have gone back and go, no, we are going to keep the heavy bolter alive because it's iconic. It's so iconic to the lore. You know, a missile launcher is maybe a little bit basic, but last cannon and heavy bolter scream to me, along with bolter, scream to me Space Marine. So it's good to see that they're not going.
And his heavy bolter is suitable to whichever type of one you want with. So if you went with an assault unit, you can have an assault heavy bolter in amongst them. So a lot of flexibility in the kit, even though it's variations on.
So far, two very good reviews.
Kill Team being reviewed is quite good. You know, a new box set for that was probably warranted. What was the current one at the moment? Was it Space Wolves and Tau? Was the current Kill Team box set? I think it was.
Honestly, couldn't remember, mate. Could not remember.
I'm pretty sure it was updated. Because the original one was Genestealer Cult.
The original updated one, I think, was Genestealer Cult, and was it Genestealer Cult? I may just be completely lying. Yeah, it was. It was Genestealer Cult and Adeptus Mechanicus.
And Adeptus. Oh yeah, so it was. So it wasn't even Space Marines in the first Kill Team. And then I'm pretty sure it became Tau and Space Marines because it had that great piece of artwork where the Space Marine is like the Space Wolf, I think, just like grabbing the Tau Fire Warrior's gun. It's just like, no,
parry
you're
this,
not going to be parrying this. You're going to die soon. And that's a great piece of artwork. So it's nice to see the next iteration of it. Yeah, I think this will be a good way, hopefully, for people to, depending on the price of it, what is Kill Team at the moment? I have to check, but it would be a good way for people to split between their Marines and Necrons. Again, some people may be a bit annoyed at that, but it is the way of it, you know. They're certainly going with Pariah as their storyline, though I don't know as much about Pariah as many other people.
Just need to know it's Necron fun times.
I would like to see someone else come after the Pariah Zone. If anything, I think it makes sense for Chaos to go after it because it's such an anti-psyker area and it renders the warp, you know, useless. So it's a huge threat against Chaos. So I'd really like to see, you know, Abaddon probably go after it. He can't take any Demon Allies. He's got to be careful over what, you know, demon-infused or warp-infused entities he can take to the Pariah. But it's a huge danger, you know, if they keep spreading how much damage it could cause. I believe, I could be wrong in the lore, how much damage it could cause. So I'd really like to see, if anything, I'd love to see Abaddon go after the Silent King and go after Pariah.
Abaddon would get absolutely crushed.
Well, he did.
Silent King would just look at him and make him disappear out of existence.
Yeah, but you can always just do his special move and yeet a Blackstone Fortress. Right, here's the next review. Prepare for knee guns.
I am loving the Hammer House horror they're doing with this. This is brilliant. Damn, that thing is huge.
New Titan
Yep, that's a big boy. That's a big boy with knee guns and everything. Pretty cool.
See
What's your
Titanicus.
thoughts?
See Titanicus really quickly. I love how
I was about to ask you about it.
it's gone from like really small knights, right? Like really tiny knights. And now the new Titan, that one there is like the size of a 40k knight on the tabletop. It's like it's scaled up dramatically so quickly.
Yep.
I love Titanicus. It's not something I'm invested to playing in. I just love the idea of Titanicus. It reminds me of Warhammer 40k Epic back in the day.
I never played it.
I had a huge epic army, kind of like Rob mentioned in the podcast. He had one as well. Yeah, I'd had a big epic army. I played in the old Games Workshop in East Kilbride. I played a couple of games of epic. It reminds me of that. I'm very much akin to that. However, it's one of these. It's another investment into another game, which I'm not willing to do at the moment. But don't get me wrong, the game looks beautiful. I love the idea of big Titan warfare, man. That's cool.
You know, I have enough things to paint as it is. You know, we've still got plenty of armies that we wish to collect and add to our collection.
Is Titanicus, is it 30k that's the time zone
Yes.
it's in? Right, okay. So saying I'd love to have Titanicus where they introduce like Xenos equivalents, you know, like Bio-Titans from Tyranids. So we're just getting to live out our Pacific Rim fantasy on the tabletop. That could be quite fun.
I think Tyranid players in general just want Bio, Mega, Lord of War Titans in the regular 40k games. I know you can get that in Forge World, but I certainly think that it's a bit of a crime that of all the forces I'd say that doesn't have a Lord of War, Tyranids don't have one. Seems very odd to me.
I think we do. There is the Bio Titan, I think. But
I'm not including Forge World in this.
Oh.
I just mean like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm talking about, you know, how many armies don't, AdMech don't have one, Spacemarines don't have a Lord of War, except for Guilliman. But you've got things like Elder, which have their Wraith Knight, Astra Militarum have their Baneblade variants. You'd think a giant Mega Bug as a mainline unit would be pretty easy sell for Tyranid players if it was really, really awesome. But yeah, you can get the Bio Titan from Forge World, but it is an expensive model, I think. It's a big boy. Then again, you once had, I don't know if you still got it, the Tau Supremacy suit.
no, remember we did a battle report and then I instantly sold it.
Oh, did you? It was really bad in 8th edition because it just didn't sell nearly as well. I'm actually laughing at the moment that the amount of viewers they've got in the showing is 41k. So close.
Nah, it looks beautiful.
So, alright, it's 2 school for cool. I've not. Yep. I'm still amazed we're getting more intercessor variants. I think when it comes to, yes, variants before Primaris, Terminators, Devastators, it's a very interesting one when it comes to that side. I think the Terminators, their equivalent is Blade Guard. That is it. Gravis armor is the equivalent you're going to get now. When it comes to Primaris and Terminators, I don't imagine that is. They've got their Storm Shields, they've got their Power Sword. Really handy if they probably had Thunder Hammers for them, but it is what it is. So I think Blade Guard are the Terminator equivalents. As for Devastators, I imagine the Devastator equivalent is just your Heavy Intercessors, and you know, maybe you should get Heavy Intercessors with all heavy weapons. That would be your heavy team. Is it showing you the size difference?
Just look at the scale. What is
bigger
going
than the
on
Warlord
here?
Titan.
Yeah, it's the War Master Titan.
Yeah, I don't know too much about the Titans. I thought the Warlord Titan was the biggest Titan there was, except for the one that has a citadel on its back.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a lot more.
Sliding scale of
This is ridiculous. Where does it
Just
end?
tempting you into Titanicus.
Oh, I'm always
tempting
tempted into Titanicus. Like, I've got a knight army, remember, Ross?
Oh yes, so you do.
Yeah, which I seem to be only allowed to use it once a year, it looks like.
But
But,
at the moment it's a bit difficult to even use it once. But I remember certainly the Adeptus Mechanicus battle report we had, where I think I caused more damage to myself than you did to me.
yeah, it was a great battle report. That was the most...
That was
I've never seen so many explosion results in my entire life. It still goes... It has to go down as some record, if I were to look back and count it.
Yeah, there was easily between 30 and 40 wounds I caused and explosions to myself, like, if not more.
Yeah, that was a great battle report. You nearly dropped a knight straight away, remember?
Yeah, and I did well. My first turn was awesome, and then your turn was equally awesome.
Yep. So the Loyalist Legios is an expansion for Adeptus.
So yeah, they're just
Titanicus,
revealing the book
which
for it.
focuses on the loyal legions, which stayed true to the Emperor and to the original vision of Mars during the events of the Horus Heresy. So this is a book that allows you to flavor your Titan legions more in line with.
Did you see that? I sent you a photo, I think, a few weeks back. It was someone had like at least 100 of the small knights from Adeptus Titanicus.
Right. Oh, I did see the picture. Yeah.
It was just the small ones, and they had at least 100, and I was like, man, that's crazy.
And it's nice to see Adeptus Titanicus as a game start to evolve more as well.
It's too cool for school saying, you know, he thinks there's going to be an Emperor Titan down the line. Is the Emperor Titan the one that has the Citadel on the top of it?
I believe so. I could be wrong. I believe so.
Emperor's Titan, it could be. Yeah. Oh, I remember that artwork for it.
It's basically a walking city.
Yep, it's basically a walking prayer house. Yeah, I imagine we're probably going to see that at some point, which would be pretty cool.
Anything in between packs of warhounds, a pair of reavers.
Oh, I just really want to play my knights again now.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of some of the content,
David, you do realise every time like we end up either talking or we end up watching something, every time you're like, oh, I really want to play this.
Yeah, I'm well aware. I'm very impulsive. Why else would be in this hobby?
Yeah, this is a hobby that impulse, cool, cool new shiny toys does attract very easily.
When we can start recording again, we need to do your Death Guard, the new updated Death Guard with Mortarion versus my knights.
we can assume
Versus your knights.
Yeah.
I mean, knights are considered one of the weakest factions in 9th edition at the moment.
Until I use them.
Until you use them, mainly because they're very hard to score points because you don't have as much board control with them, which makes it very, very tricky for them. I'm very interested to see what they actually do with updated knights, how to resolve that issue.
I think points are going to drop, so you can get those armigers in.
I think it'll be rule changes in terms of, armigers did actually drop points, I believe. They became quite cost effective, but ways for them to actually score points or hold objectives or something needs to be very important. Because at the moment they just struggle so much.
They'll clearly get, no matter how many models or something is on the objective, a knight just overrules it. That's what they'll have, and you need to shift the knight.
Yeah, basically, if you've got, for each knight maybe counts as like 15 troops, so although they may have objectives secured with troop choices, a knight counts as 15 models or 20 models. That, I think, would be a large way to help at it. I think there is some rules that do apply to that at the moment, but I think it needs to be reviewed.
So we're getting to the halfway point, I think, so we need to start thinking, when's Age of Sigmar going to come in? Probably next.
Yeah, I'm guessing we're I imagine we're probably done with 40k. We've got, if anything, if they're going to end on anything, maybe just show us what the next couple of codex are going to be. They might be apprehensive of actually showing what the codexes are, because with Death Guard got delayed from December to January, they might be quite apprehensive to go show too much forward, because when people delay things, looking at Cyberpunk, especially when things get delayed, people get annoyed. So they might be, I can see here someone saying 6 months into 9th edition, only 3 codex drops us. Now they did do a whole bunch of supplements, but yeah, we do need to ramp up the codex releases. I'm glad they got all of Space Marines done.
Here we go.
Get them out of the way. Are they showing on it?
They said another one's coming in.
Enjoy this, and we'll be right back.
Do you know what I'm going to say, Ross? I really want to buy that and start that now as well. That looked awesome.
Hello, everybody.
Oh really? I know you. So you were tempted by Lumineth when it came out. So was I. We were very heavy Warhammer Fantasy players back in the day.
Eddie, what can you tell us?
So we knew that there was.
Yeah, Eddie's saying we knew there was going to be new Lumineth. Yep, we sure did.
With the announcement
I'm just checking because sometimes when you check their social medias, sometimes they have updates there as well. I'm just going to check if I remember when the 40k box set got released, there was new models shown just there. Let's have a wee look.
Loving the model design. That is beautiful.
I'm always apprehensive when things I go, that looks like it could break. That gets me always very, very worried. But yeah, very cool. Let's have a look at the community page, see if there's anything updated there. Preview online. Kill Team Pariah. Nah, nothing new there. But yeah, very interested. So yeah, they've put it's going to be 40k Kill Team, Titanicus, Age of Sigmar, and Underworld. So Underworld, we're going to see our cool vampires, and then there's a last surprise. So waiting for that one.
This aspect of the realm of Haish, the speed of the wind and the shock of
It's looking great. Get no issues with this at all.
Well, the only part of Lumineth Elves I had an issue was with the Archer helms. I think they were very Marmite. For people who don't know what Marmite is, it's a spreadable sort of thing you put on toaster bread and everything, but it's famously known as you either love it or you hate it. I think a lot of Lumineth Elves, certainly those helms, either are going to love it or you're going to hate it. I don't like the helms for the archers, but I do love the model designs in general. I thought they were a huge improvement on basically their updated high elves, just changed to Age of Sigmar and everything. The model design is very, very cool.
Yeah, and there's so much cool stuff to look at when you sort of look at those pictures that Raph had up just a moment ago, and I was about to talk about, and there we go. Thanks.
Sorry, I'm muted. Too cool for school. Just asking, do you lads think a Loyalist Primarch will get brought back? Or will it be another traitor? Fulgrim has been heavily teased. So my opinion's always been, I go by what business dictates.
So Dave, just to say one thing, last time you asked us this question, you tricked us, and you said, what one do we predict to be? And we all said our Loyalist, and then you went, I think it's going to be the Silent King, and lo and behold, you were 100% correct. So David, whatever you say now will be taken as 100% correct. So be careful here, we're going to follow your words as
Alright, clip it.
So what do you think's happening?
So definitely, I go by business, and business, the Demon Primarchs is a better asset and sells more than the Loyalist one. I would like a Loyalist one to come out to progress the Loyalist lore and get this focus away from Robot Girlyman. Is doing my head in. All his lore now, it's so bad, very weak, and I don't enjoy hearing about it. So I'd like lore-wise to see a Loyalist Primarch come in. However, I do believe it'll be another Demon Primarch to try and balance out the sort of war that's going on at the moment in Indomitus, because Chaos just seems to be getting destroyed at every single turn. Let's not kid ourselves. And who's a great nemesis of Robot Girlyman? Is Fulgrim. Fulgrim was one that put him in his stasis in the first place. So I think if I was to put a bet on anything, it would be a Demon Primarch, and it would be Fulgrim.
I mean, a lot of people are predicting Fulgrim for the sheer fact that they've been updating the Traitor Marines in terms of their models with Thousand Suns and Plague Marines, though they have slowed down significantly because Thousand Suns were updated in December 2016 and Plague Marines were 8th edition, so they were, roughly July, August 2017. So it's been 3 years and we've not had, generic Chaos Space Marines were updated 2 years ago. So I think it is, will we see, Noise Marines updated with Fulgrim? Very interesting. Or will we see Khorne Berserkers? Khorne Berserkers and Noise Marines beginning to show their age significantly.
I think you'll I just think it'll be Fulgrim. I'm not convinced it'll be Noise Marines. I'm not convinced it'll be Noise Marines. I think Noise Marines, personally, I think will probably get redone as a whole new different, a cacophony unit, very similar to 30k. I don't know. I think there'll be a total redoing of that unit entirely.
So just to go off on a tangent on this one, see this artwork for Teclis, right? I absolutely hate the Teclis model. I get what they were going for. It's not my taste. There's not every model is going to be liked by some. If the model was like this, I would have been like completely sold in Teclis. Completely sold. I think that's such a cool pose. It's pretty basic, hands out the side, fair enough. But just him floating down like that, I think is really, really good. But anyway, let's go back to 40k because we played that a little bit more than we played.
Well, no. I just want to quickly comment that I actually fully agree. But Teclis, think about the lore of Teclis and what he'd done in the end times. he deserves to be a huge centerpiece model. He deserves to be grandioso. Teclis was one of, if not one of the main components of the end times, along with Nagash. He done so much with the Winds of Magic, so Teclis deserves all the credit. He should be up there with a huge grandioso model.
Have you ever seen the artwork for? I can't remember Malekith's new name in the lore, but have you ever seen like the artwork for him? What he sort of looks like?
No, but I'm sure it's going to be incredible.
I'll see if I can find it for you. I can't remember his name, but it's like he's basically melded half dragon, half shadow, half dragon thing. It's very, very cool, but I can't remember his name for the love of me. In Age of Sigmar. But they haven't shown him entirely yet. You only just get a wee hint of what he looks like, but I highly encourage you to look at it. Anyway, let's go back to
Too cool for skill. Just quickly in the comments there. I know you're agreeing about Fulgrim and bringing out the Noise Marines. Do you think Noise Marines should be redone from the ground up, as in a different type of unit replacing Noise Marines, like a cacophony unit? Just interested to know what your thoughts are.
Are you asking me or Too Cool?
Asking Too Cool. Putting that. Just put your in the comment section. I'd be interested to see what you think.
Yeah. So I'm going to comment on that one as well. Mention End Times, cries as dwarf player. So just to say, on my view, when it comes to Emperor's Children stuff, they have a sort of format. If you look at the two last Traitor ones, so Thousand Suns, when they came out, they had the Rubric Marines, they had a Terminator unit in the Scarab cult, and then they had the Zankars. So you had two troops, a cult unit, a Plague Marine, Thousand Sun, Rubric Marine unit, then a Terminator unit. In terms of Death Guard, you had the Poxwalkers, which was your cult equivalent. You had your Plague Marines, and then they had two Terminator units. So if you do see Emperor's Children, I think it is going to go down that route where we're going to see a cult unit, which will be very interesting for Emperor's Children, because who knows what that will be. Then you'll have your Noise Marines, which hopefully will have various loadouts, and then you'll have a Terminator, which I think would be Phoenix Guard.
We got more. There's more for Warhammer Age of Sigmar fans, and I think maybe Raph will bring up.
Sorry, one of my friends is messaging saying loving the new Age of Sigmar Teclis. So
in the first Broken Realms, we saw
the new. He's saying he loves the model. Or the
not Teclis, sorry, the Hurricane model thing.
Her followers that are the blood mad devotees of
Daughters of Cain. Loving it.
And they'll be getting a brand new.
Now, yeah, they really need to. I mean, Daughters of Cain is cool. Really want to see the new Malekith. I keep saying his old name. I can't remember the new one to save myself. But yeah, when it comes to Noise Marines, very interested. Have you ever seen? Have you seen the Phoenix Guard from Forge Worlds?
Yeah, of course I have. Of course I have, Ross. Yeah. If it's anything to do with Chaos or Emperor's Children, I've definitely seen it. That looks amazing. Right. What is this?
Is this for? So this will be their endless spells that they use in Age of Sigmar.
I really like everything about.
So do you know about? I think they're called endless spells, or they're basically the spells for Age Sigmar that they have individual models for them. Yeah, that bloodied hand is awesome. Also very breakable. Very bloody.
Potential for all sorts of cool things, not only.
Well, that's what a lot of people were talking about. They almost come out, use some of them onto the field, and they have effects. People have been talking, could that have a way in terms of 40k? At the moment, I'd say the problem with 40k is that they're still struggling to make people justify buying terrain, which they do quite successfully in Age of Sigmar. Terrain plays a big effect. These endless spells, or forget their name, play a big effect. But we still can't justify terrain in a lot of ways for 40k. So I don't see this going into 40k anytime soon until they sort of nail their terrain issues at the moment.
Just back to Too Cool for School. Yep. Bringing a new unit for Emperor's Children to kind of meld into the forces. Yeah, fully agree. Actually, you're getting me excited for Emperor's Children now. I really want Emperor's Children to come in as a... That would be with equal on a par with Thousand Suns to me. Having Emperor's Children, having Fulgrim would be a dream come true.
So we know that the surprise at the end of the day is going to be probably another game, because the way the format works, they're like 40k this. Oh, something. Time.
Yeah, these look nice. Ha! Terrible pun, but I loved it. Well, there you've got your new Underworld team, Ross, right there.
Yeah, David, I need them.
I know you do.
Awesome.
They look cool.
People have been asking for.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't bought a new Underworld team in a wee bit. Obviously, we've got different paint projects and things to go on, but that is getting. They look amazing. Like, it's
Yeah.
because they've got different character between them. Very, very cool. I've always said that vampires, in terms of, you know, is such a staple in a lot of fantasy genres, and I know Age of Sigmar were trying to move into their own genres for a lot of things. Very good that they're bringing vampires back in, and the models are vastly updated. I'm getting messages from a friend or two who have been watching this, and they're like, "Yep, vampires confirmed, great." So it's very, very nice to see them, and they've all got different aspects to them as well. You've obviously got the sort of the blooded prince. I forget what they're called. Dragons. I forget what they're called. I can't remember the old school ones. I love the one that's a bit more regal, just holding a giant Sauron mace. I know you're quite angry about Sauron maces.
I just think some of these vampires have just took a trope out of Lord of the Rings and gone, oh, we'll have that armor. Oh, we'll have that weapon. But it's fine. It's fine. I see it's paying homage to the greatest film franchise of all time, so it's fine.
Yeah, I'm aware that you watch Lord of the Rings roughly, 3 times a day, if possible.
Oh, I watch the full extended edition probably once a week, and that's not like one of the movies. That's the movies.
Yeah, I'm aware. Like, that is no exaggeration. You've told me that multiple times that you watch the trilogy at least once a week, and no one can judge you for it because it's amazing. What a good thing to do.
Yeah, that's a good looking model, by the way. That is good.
So 2 School for Cools, they're talking about, what a disappointment would be if we're expecting Fulgrim and instead got Lorgar. So
I like Lorgar. Lorgar's cool.
I think he's been active in the lore recently.
He has?
I think it was the Psychic Awakening that Lorgar certainly, was it Erebus? No.
Corphaedon, I think.
One of them, I think he was in it. He was in the Psychic Awakening. So Lorgar has been maybe not directly active, but he has been there.
No, word bearers, man. Don't get me wrong. Like, word bearers are crapped upon, to use a polite term, crapped upon way too much in 40k. Lorgar is, I get it, an absolute whipping boy of all the Primarchs. He's just so overzealous, and that's fun. He's a bro. I think out of all the Primarchs to bring back, the worst one to bring back, a biggest kick in the face, would probably be. Oh, I'm trying to think.
One of the ones that are dead. Like, I don't think if they brought back a dead Primarch, there'd be a lot of annoyance there.
Ferrus Manus.
Ferrus Manus, yeah,
don't worry.
That was not happening.
We learn how to reattach his head.
We learned how to reattach his spoilers.
It's just Abaddon walking about with a puppet of Ferrus Manus going, "Hello, I'm alive."
Yeah, I'd personally love to see Porto Rabble, because it would just be this crazy half demon engine. It'd be like basically a demon engine Primarch.
But he's just such a whiny Primarch.
Well, yeah.
Everyone's out to get him. They are the way to get him.
Everyone is out to get him. Fulcrum tried to have shenanigans on him.
It's a lot of fun. It's a very fun miniature, and I think you're quite right. Any of these, you could put on the battlefield and go, that's a hero, and looks great.
I think Fulgrim deserves to get praise for trying to kill Porto Rabble. He was just trying to shut up someone that was whining too much. That was all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know you're a fan of Fulgrim. You tried to kill Guilliman. That's like your epitome of top character. Tried to kill Guilliman, champion.
Oh, Fulgrim became top tier, and like Magnus is always Horus and Magnus are the top 2, right? But Fulgrim catapulted himself into the top 3 straight away after he dealt with Guilliman. Straight away.
What do you think of this vampire model? I don't like the teeth at the front. I don't like his buck teeth at the side. I get that's probably going for the fangs, but
I'd imagine with the way that the concept, the Underworlds works, he's going to be your heavy hitter. Like, every kill team has usually a really massive guy that does only chucks 1 or 2 dice, but it's really high damage. I'd imagine that's what he's going to be.
Well, is that because he's got a giant mace that's taller than him?
Yep, fair point.
Yep. I think he's going to be basically the one that does, low amount of attacks, slow but huge reach, and hits like a brick. You'll probably have one of them that's going to be a caster. You've got the one that can fly, which is obviously going to be your mobility unit, and then you obviously have the guy with the sort of sword. He'll probably be the leader, I imagine. Yeah, can't wait to see more on these guys. They're going to be absolutely awesome.
Thanks, Tuco for school. They're crapped on because they are grubs. I won't lie, they are grubs to a degree, but Wordbearers was in 30k like the arch enemy at times for Ultramarines. So regardless who they are, they have to go straight up in my estimations. Like, just for their trolliness over the Ultramarines. But I do agree. I think Alfarius would actually be a really good one. Because it would get every one of these conspiracy theorists that Alfarius died. I don't believe he died. I believe in the books he's still alive. It'd be good if Alfarius came back. It would be the biggest I never died to begin with. Him and Conrad Kurz.
See, I've talked about Conrad Kurz. I'd love for Conrad Kurz to come back, and controversially, he's actually, a good guy. Like, he becomes loyalist,
And you
which
have
a lot of people would absolutely hate. Basically, I was a bit insane because I kept seeing visions of the future. Cure that, and I'm okay. But equally, I would also love to see the guy from the Ravenwings.
I was going to say,
turn traitor.
Yeah, Korax switches.
Because Korax did a couple of bad things.
No spoilers, no spoilers.
No spoilers on that one, but yeah, I could imagine if there was a loyalist that was going to fall, it would be him. And yeah, not many of the traitors are totally redeemable, to say the least. Even though Magnus did nothing wrong.
You keep saying that word traitor and you keep flinging it around so loosely. I don't see they did anything wrong. I think they tried to do the right thing for humanity, and some overzealous people who treat the Emperor as a god decided to derail what was a great time. Alright, it was a great time. And that party bus got its brakes cut, its wheels taken off, and then put in the scrapyard.
So, Too Cool for School saying their hot take, Omegan will come back as loyalist and Lion will turn traitor. Lion won't turn traitor.
No,
Lion
Lion
will turn traitor, but the Lion will certainly not agree with Guilliman.
Lion will go rogue. Lion will
Yeah,
create a new third subsect of Primarchs.
Yeah, basically, Lion would not go to Chaos, but he certainly doesn't. He's tried to stop Guilliman doing shenanigans before, so he would be a great loyalist to come back and really put the brakes on whatever Guilliman's got planned.
I would always say, Lion would come back and lead this new third section of Primarchs, but along with it, he would drag Castle Khan with him. Castle Khan would probably side with him on the rogue side. I think Dorn would obviously stay too loyalist because he's got palaces to build, and he's not going to get to build those palaces through the Lion, so he's only going to get to build those palaces through the Imperium. And then I think there's some Chaos ones that would go rogue as well, like Alpharis and Omegon. I think they would join the Line. Because I'm not convinced Alpha Legion's full Chaos. They've had foresight and all that sort of trickery, so they know how everything ends. It's just they're doing like one sort of journey to get there. Oh, another reveal coming up.
For me, Gorath all the way. I can't wait. Now, I guess.
Really? It's buffering. Come on, my internet's been so bad today.
Unlucky, man.
There we go.
And odds to the fact that things maybe, with we saw a Soul Blight Vampire earlier in the week, courtesy of not the Potato Camp, and then.
So we're going to get more vampires, you think, next?
Warhammer Underworlds,
possibly.
Getting a little bit spooky in the Mortal Realms. Maybe Raph would like to in the next video.
Here we go.
At the heart of Gulfen Khan. This once great city is now a charnel house. Its people are enslaved, brutalized, and harvested. Their broken bodies raised up to serve the city's cruel master in death. We will not allow this desecration to continue. this, wolf. You are not the first monster we have hunted.
You seen it all yet, David? I think you're a wee bit, because if you're following the chat side, that's a little bit on the slower side, but yeah, very interesting.
I am super excited about this one.
Yeah, I'm going to reload the stream just while they're talking because I think it's lagged behind a bit. But wow, that was good.
Yeah, so it's Warhammer Quest Cursed City.
I'm not actually familiar with Warhammer Quest.
So yeah, I've got a few. I've got the Silver Tower and Hammer Hall were the two last ones that came out. Both out of print now. Very, very cool games. I've not had a chance to play them, but I know Silver Tower was highly popular. Interesting to see the Cursed City. I'm very excited for that one. I'm kind of there's a model there, so Witch Hunter. Pretty darn cool. I can like it. So I'm interested to see what they do in terms of the villains for that one. It looked like it was sort of mixture between skeletons, zombies. I believe death has been expanded on really well for Age of Sigmar, but if they're going to go any further, don't go much further, and if it is, make it like a zombie force, because when I played Vampire Counts, I had endless amount of zombies. In one battle I played, I had to use pieces of paper to count how many zombies I'd raised. Just basically put 5 ranks extra of zombies because there was just too many. I'd love to see zombies as part of it, but I do believe that the dead, in terms of Age of Sigmar, has been expanded on really quite a lot compared to other ones.
Looking great.
What do you think?
Yeah,
What do you think of
looking
this
great.
model in terms of Witch Hunter?
I would definitely take it and convert it into 40k model. Definitely.
So the one that I think is an equivalent of that one was the one from the Triumvirate of the Imperium, I think it was.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Is her name something Hex, I believe? She's an
Yeah,
Inquisitor. I've got her painted too.
So, and I think this is a largely better model, but then again, it has been 3 years of development in terms of technology. Very, very cool. I see the stakes on the side there, which is very awesome. The rifle, totally awesome. Why aren't we playing Age of Sigmar, David? Why aren't we playing Age of Sigmar?
Because we've got way too much 40k projects to do.
Yeah, you're right.
The closest we do to Age of Sigmar is Underworlds, because that's manageable.
Because that's manageable. Yep. It's sad we have to think that way, but true. I do have endless amounts of units to paint, and that's just 40k alone. If we added in a whole new game, oh boy, even as no matter how awesome the models may be, it would. My schedule's already a bit tight. I'm planned out for this year alone.
Yeah. Too cool. Just catching up on the comments there. Fully agree. Alfarius or Omegon, whoever it is, coming back and being loyalist. It makes sense. It makes sense. I don't think they're actually truly chaos. I could see that. I don't know about the Lion. I'm still not convinced about the Lion turning traitor. I think he'd just go his own way. But I think the next couple of years for the Primarch releases, there has to be another Primarch getting released in a couple of years, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
It's been nearly, if you get to summer this year, it'll been 4 years since the last Primarch came out.
Yeah, and he's just one of.
I think that's about 4 years too long.
4 years too long. I mean, it was a big game changer. You obviously had 3 Primarchs come out in less than a year. You had Magnus in December 2016, Guilliman was about February, and then you had July for Mortarion, and then nothing for 3 years. Then you had the Silent King, which is partly an equivalent if you think of large characters to come back into the lore. So it's not just all of them. Oh, that's a cool model.
I'm getting
Just
Silent
there.
Getting Silent Hill vibes.
You're getting Silent Hill vibes. I've never played Silent Hill.
You uncultured swine.
That's fair. I can accept that. Yeah, I think there's going to be absolutely stellar models when it comes to. I mean, the Warhammer Quest really did have some really cool models. Just excited to see this one. I love the sort of Zinj Demon Prince you got in the Silver Tower. That one was awesome.
Not nice. He's just look at him. Just everything.
Yeah.
Screams like otherworldly wrongness.
Yeah, I think this guy's gonna be a creepy creature.
Yeah, I mean, like, usually would probably see what is the leader of the villainous side. I'm not listening to the comments they're saying in this one.
Full of sort of horrible magical power, and Darrock and his companions are going to be going up against just awful evil. I mean, look at it. He's got this.
Yeah.
sort of
So yeah, we're going to have to get that painted. That might have to jump into production at some stage if we get the Warhammer Quest stuff. 'Cause it just looks cool. It's awesome. I'm really sad we never played any of the other ones. Even off the channel, we never had a chance to play them.
Heard good things about Silver Tower.
The death force
Mhm.
in this city where this is the guy who watches the graves, who digs up the.
Let's have a look.
The followers
So do you think
of-
that was their secret reveal? That probably was it. That was a new Warhammer Quest.
I'm looking at the time.
item.
We're over an hour now, so I think possibly that might be the last reveal. Possibly.
Yeah.
We've had Kilt.
I'm hoping that maybe. I hope they give us a little bit of hint of in terms of codexes towards the end, but who knows on that one?
Yeah.
They've given quite a lot. The new Sororitas was awesome. That certainly was a real new one. Kill Team, which is good. Warhammer Quest, which is awesome. Yeah, I'd say
Vampires.
good coverage in just about all the games. Vampires, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, there'll be a closing video. A final reveal. But I'm looking at the time and I'm thinking usually this is about the closing down mark, usually for these reveals.
Yeah, Too School for Cool saying, they should bring back the Emperor so I can have a Lord of War choice for Custodes. I think we can all say that's not going to happen.
No, they should bring back the Emperor so Horus should finish what he started.
I mean, he's not in the best condition to fight at the moment, the Emperor. He's busy with other things.
He's dead.
He's dead. Well, just think of if you remember the movie Dogma, David. If you finally kill him, he can reincarnate himself.
Well, that's the mythos behind the Emperor just now. He doesn't want to be alive at the moment because he's a perpetual. He wants to be switched off so he can come back. But the Ecclesiarchy don't quite understand that, so they're keeping him alive. And he's like, just kill me, please. I can come back. Nope, keep him on the throne as a potato. It's great.
As a potato. So yeah, I don't think, if anything, I'd not put money on if I was the Emperor. Not going to come back. No chance. No chance.
To bring in the Emperor, you'd have to introduce the Chaos Gods as models as well.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. You'd have all the Primarchs back, including Sanguinius, if that happens.
That's true for this one as well. So if you're looking for something for
Before the Emperor getting off his chair.
do some multiplayer gaming, or Warhammer Quest is brilliant for that. And this.
So yeah, out of the reveals so far, David, what one have you enjoyed the most?
What I've enjoyed the most, I'd say what I've enjoyed the most is definitely the Adeptus Sororitas one. That was a really nice twist. I didn't expect that. And we all kind of mentioned it's really hard. You've got exosuits now in a couple of units in 40k, and then other things like Necromunda, and they've just never been done right, I guess. That was how to do an exosuit right. It looked beautiful, kept the ornateness and theme of the model, and I'm just looking at the conversion potential. Brilliant model release.
Very nice. In terms of me, I mean, it's a mixture between Warhammer Quest. That's a really nice addition. Again, it might not be one that I actually physically play, but I just love the story when they bring out these Warhammer Quests. They're just something different. Getting confirmed Kill Team, I think, is good. I think that was probably the one I was like, yep, good to see Kill Team, and a good bit of the finishing off the Space Marines and the Necrons. Just gives me hope that, as someone said in the comments on their chat, it's been 6 months and only really 3 codexes, Space Marines, Necrons, and Death Guard, if you don't include the supplements. So really a lot of people really want to see, let's move on to the next stage of 9th edition. Let's see the new rules for codexes. And I really hope that's going to be the way forward.
Too
so
cool.
We might see that, we might not, but I'm super excited to see where we're going with 9th.
I'll just make a quick public apology. Apologies, I hurt your feelings. Too cool for school. It's hard to deal with truth, but I'm here to support you. Don't you worry about it.
Oh, David, you're breaking everyone's heart today.
Yeah, they're wrapping up, guys, so we've got one more, probably the final closing preview to come.
Yeah, probably ending one. Hope it's codex. I don't think it's going to be idea of codexes because I feel Death Guard maybe made them a bit apprehensive of revealing codexes too much because it gets too much people's hype and heart, their hopes up. So, unless they've got new games and everything, new models, that's great.
Yeah.
Codexes maybe step back, but I want to know the plan.
Imagine they just reveal another Primaris model.
Oh, if only. If only. So, because the storyline is heavily aimed towards Necrons at the moment, this Pariah system, What Primarch would you say would be one that would want to go after Silent King and that?
Daughters of Cain, Battle Tome.
Sorry, did you say a Primarch to go after the Silent King?
For Warhammer Underworld. And
Yeah, basically the Prior system is a problem for everyone, but predominantly Chaos in my mind. What Primarch, or if it was a Baden, who would go after it? To me, it would actually be Logar, because the Prior system is a complete affront to the Chaos gods.
No, it'd be Magnus.
I want to.
Yeah, true. Magnus against Warp. That would be an interesting
Magnus
one
would
to
just
have
be like,
Sons
none of
versus
this, or
Necron.
any of that, or anything else. And Magnus would just come in and blow it all up with his mind really quickly, and then leave like he does, like a glittering, beautiful Demon Primarch. And you know what? I think the reason he hasn't done it just now, Ross, is he just can't be bothered. He's got other things he needs to think about.
The warband for Warhammer Underworld is awesome. And
Yep.
frankly,
I mean, he tried to, if you know the storyline to Psychic Awakening, he basically tried to indoctrinate a whole bunch of Psychers all through the universe, you know, entirely. He did get stopped by the Grey Knights and Dark Angels.
Guys,
they're not traitors.
Well, they're not traitors. They're just party. They just let Magnus have his fun.
I think they tried to like nuke him from space, like completely, but unfortunately, he had like a massive shield and defended himself.
No one can nuke Magnus. Only Magnus can nuke Magnus.
Only Magnus can nuke Magnus. I mean, he did a very good job of it, you know, 10,000 years ago.
Hey, if he didn't do what he did, he wouldn't have grown those glorious wings of Tzeentch and become the sheer mastery of psychic powers that he is now.
Some of the paint jobs I've seen for those wings are incredible. I've seen people draw like universes in them, and they just look absolutely stunning. When you mentioned earlier on in terms of sales, what was more popular, obviously going between Demon Primarchs and then obviously Guilliman being the only loyalist one, the Demon Primarchs have offered far more conversion opportunities than Guilliman has, though I've seen some really cool Guilliman conversions. In a business perspective, you're absolutely right. When it comes to the Primarchs moving forward, if there is, I mean, it's been 3.5 years, then yeah, you're the Demon ones are the ones that sell more.
Talk Warhammer with us, and we're glad.
Right, we're going to get the final preview.
Raph, who's the power behind the IT and has made sure this all runs smoothly. Thank you to you, Eddie.
It's a pleasure as always, Adam. I'm happy to be here with you.
Yeah, frankly, you bring all the great knowledge, and I just provide the waffle that fills in between all the cool pictures. So,
Everyone loves waffle, Adam.
who doesn't? So, and I guess all that remains is to hope that you all have a lovely day. Hope that you come back and join us again next time. And to remind you that if you've missed any details, if there's anything that we didn't cover in the way that you like, hop over to warhammercommunity.com. Take a look at the article, which is now live on that website and has all of this information and all of the videos that you can rewatch. And then we'll launch this whole stream again back on this channel so that you can watch it again should you so desire. It's been a pleasure spending our time with you. We'll see you again very soon.
Will we get one? Oh, maybe we're not.
Nah, you don't always. They didn't have one last time. I think it's
No.
yeah.
Okay. Final thoughts then, because we need to wrap up our own stream. But final thoughts, Ross?
Well, yeah, it was a very good one. The only thing I'm a bit disappointed is I didn't see codexes, but I can sort of understand why they didn't want to do that. In terms of models, this has actually probably been one of their strongest ones they've done. There's been a couple of times when they've done the streams and I've been a little bit disappointed. This one was probably one of the better ones. Seeing really cool Adepta Sororitas unit was fantastic. An idea for Kill Team, which is good. Rounding off the Space Marines and Necrons, finally, which is great. Lumineth Elves, cool. I would have liked a little bit more on that one because I know there's the mounted units. We didn't see any of them. Underworld, fantastic. And Warhammer Quest, which is also really, really cool. Generally, probably one of the better ones. I just, I like my codexes, like my rules. I would have liked to see that, but generally, pretty darn good for models.
All fair points. Well, I'm just going to leave it at that. I think you've summed it up perfectly, Ross. It was quite a good review. So yeah, guys, we're going to probably be doing some more of these live reactions as they come out because we're getting the technology together to do it and the understanding to do it. But it's been a lot of fun. Thanks again for those who joined us. There'll be a replay of this live stream in our channel on the videos upload section. Please check it out. Anything you want to ask about today's stream to either of us, to myself or to Ross, put it in the comment section down below. But comment, share, like, and subscribe. And from myself and Ross, we'll see you again in another one of our Tabletop Salt Battle Reports or live streams. Stay safe. Take it easy.